Okay, I'm here again talking about Drupal, and this time in specific Drupal in the cloud. Now I've already got a couple of tutorials and whatnot going up on my regular blog, but this is just kind of a video to show you a little bit of what's going on. With cloud services, really what you're getting is a kind of a server out on the internet that's yours to do what you want with it. It kind of provides the same functionality of a VPS, a virtual private server, but gives you a little more freedom to grow it if you want to, move it, and also keep it between data centers if you're going with that kind of cloud provider. Right now I've got up my Rackspace instance right now, and we're going to just go ahead and add a server. It's going to be real simple here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a server. I'm going to add a Ubuntu 12.04, and I'm just going to make it a 256 meg instance. We'll call it tutorial 1. It's going to cost me $1.50 an hour. So that's going to go ahead and create, and it's going to give me a password that I need to save, because this will be the root login for that server, and this is random. It goes for each server. So that's it. That's building a server. Now when you go to a cloud provider, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Rackspace, whether it's a couple of the other providers out there, you manage your own security and you manage your own server. This is your deal. So just keep that in mind. You no longer have the security of a firewall that somebody else is providing. You're going to have to do that stuff yourself. Now when you have a server, when it's built within Rackspace's stuff here, I've already got one built up. It's a 512 meg instance with 20 gigs. They give me the IP address. So what I'm going to need to do is connect to that IP address and start the install. Make sure put on what I want to get for Drupal, and what that is Virtualmin. I'm going to use Virtualmin as a software. It's going to install Apache, MySQL, PHP, everything I need to run my Drupal site in a nice little interface for me. And they have a paid-for version if you're needing support with a couple more features, but they also have a free version. So first things first, I need to go to my server here. And I'm just going to SSH to that server. Let's go. And this is obviously the first time I've connected to it. Control-C. I'm going to SSH as root to my server, and then take that password that they've given me, and just the password, not everything else. Okay, I'm logged on. This is all you get when you've got your own cloud server. If you're on the Windows side, you're doing something completely different. But this is a shell console. This is what I'm getting. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Virtualmin here again, and so you guys can see. And I'm going to go ahead and wget this install shell that they have. Now, one thing they also do that Virtualmin tells you to do is make sure that your hostname is correct. So I've already got one set up to go to this IP address. So I'm going to go ahead, check my hostname. It just says tutorial. So I'm going to change that right here. I've already got tutorial, and mine's already called yes, enter. And then I'm also going to go ahead and reboot so that it takes that name on effect. There's a couple different ways to to make it take effect, but rebooting is the easiest way. And one thing, you'll probably want to turn off passwords and do just public key, private key authentication. But I won't be covering any of that. So now if I do my host name, NSF, there we go. I get my full host name. So I've got that script in there. And this is all you need to do to install Virtualmin, our software that's going to manage, or not our software, but this awesome package of software that's going to run our web server. Okay, so my Virtualmin install is done, and from doing this last night, I found out I was needing one more package, the PHP, the PHP 5 GD library that Drupal needed to do the images. We'll go ahead and install that, and now let's go to our website. Now it's going to be on port 10,000. It's going to be HTTPS, and obviously you understand the risk because you're connecting to your own self-signed server. Totally cool. Exception and confirm. There we go. So now we just need to log on to Webmin. And you do need a root user to log into Webmin. So if you turn off your SSH authentication, that's fine, and use keys, but the root user still is active, or any other sudo user. So it's going to go through this post-installation wizard. Just kind of check on what you're doing with your server. You're going to use the email server, your MySQL, Postgres, Spam Assassin, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm just going to go ahead and this is horrible security practice, but my root password is going to be the same for both. And I'm going to store just plain text passwords because this is my server. I'm not worried about that. If you're going to be sharing this with friends or doing this for customers, definitely do the hashed passwords. So it's going to go ahead and go through its entire reconfig, just make sure that everything works. And when it does, I'll have a virtual host set up and ready to use. And there it is. Now, from here, installing Drupal, I'm going to create my virtual server on top of that. So you saw that I had tutorial dot, that's fine. Administration password. Advanced options, and I believe the one feature I ran into last night, I'm going to go ahead and where is that? So the website, I believe it was accepting mail was what I ran into, but I don't want mail on this server anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and uncheck all this stuff, and it's going to go ahead and create my virtual host right here. Left hand side, I've got a virtual host, and if you're curious what it looks like on the Apache side, it's where is that? Servers, Apache web server. Right here, virtual server. There's the address. Now that that's out there, I'm going to go ahead and upload my Drupal install. So if you notice the home tutorial public, I'm just logging in with the root user. Virtualmin actually does create a user, and it's going to be called tutorial, and it's going to have the password that I set for the master password. But since this is my server, I'm just going to go ahead and use root. So home tutorial public HTML, and take those Drupal files that you would normally take from somewhere else and go ahead and upload. While those are going, I'm going to also go over the MySQL stuff. I'm going to take a look at the databases, and I'm going to go ahead and do a custom password for the database for this one. 640 files to go. Now, if you have a previous install that you're going to be migrating over, this is where you would go to the import database area. Or actually what you do is you go into tutorial, then manage, or tutorials my server, whatever your server was, and execute SQL and run SQL from file or import text file. So when you take your dump from your old server, you can put it right in here and it'll execute your SQL. All my files are uploaded, so I can go to, there's my installer right there, ready to go. Database name. Let's see if that works. There we go. So I used the username that it gave me, the management username. If you're looking in at Virtualmin, it's going to be, well, let's go ahead and go to that one. The administration username is what it is for that username password. There, Steve Ed. And I'm mostly strong for Drupal for password stuffs. There we go. Now I've got my Drupal site set up on the cloud, and with some of the features that are provided by Rackspace. And Amazon does it a little differently, but those are the two I've played with. But you know, I can come here and just resize the server on the fly if I need to. If I want to take it down to 256 megs, if I want to bring it up to a gig, or more as needed. For one server, I can totally do that. It just costs a little more, a little less per hour, and it'll do it on the fly in about 3 to 5 minutes. And we've got Drupal in the cloud. So I hope you enjoyed. If you got any questions, comments, let me know. There's a more in-depth writing on my blog. If you're looking for that address, let me know.